When you discovered the law of attraction, you started to believe anything was possible. Life got better, much better. Now you want more, but it's not working. That's where the Manifest It Now show comes in. If you've been waiting for someone who can teach you the practical application to manifest quicker and easier while having more, turn the volume up, because the dynamic duo, Cassie Parks and Ginny Gane, are ready to teach you how to live the law of attraction like they do. It's time to laugh and learn.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Manifest It Now. I'm here with Cassie Parks.
And I'm here with Ginny Gane.
And we are going to answer this question today. Are you allowing what you want to manifest?
Ooh, this is going to be so good. I know I always say that, but this topic, it's really one of those where you have to pay attention, and it's in the small things more than the big things. This is one of those higher level manifesting topics that we talk about when you it just becomes a little subtler and you have to pay a little bit more attention, and it's just fun. I'm super excited.
Yeah, this is one to say you're going to come back to and listen to it and then be like, oh, that's what they meant when I went, or I experienced that, and that's what they were saying. Like, now it makes sense. What do you?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Are you going to be like, oh, that's why I don't have what I want, because I haven't been
Yes, and I mean, I'm gonna share an experience that I had, and I think Cass too, that ties in perfectly to this.
Yes. Oh, I'm excited. And first, Jenny, what are you excited about?
Well, I'm really excited because Lisa and I are in the process of getting pregnant. And so it's been a really fun journey that I am excited to share all of with you guys at some point. But in this part right now, and I've been very aware of, like, when am I going to share this with our listeners? And I mean, my people in my tribe know, and it feels right to share that now, even though it's in the middle of happening, because I think it's important to feel and hear about some of this process as it's happening. And so that's what I'm so excited about. So it's happening. I went and had some, work done today because obviously Lisa and I we don't have the natural parts to make a baby on our own. So we're going through and getting some help with that. And it just feels really right. And I'm excited to share the parts of the process that I had to work through at some point. But right now it feels totally perfect and right. And it's so exciting to be here and to have the groundedness with that as well, with the process of really trusting it.
Amazing. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I know.
Awesome.
What are you excited about, Cass?
I am excited about just the flow of everything and how good everything feels and how much evidence and just how many things I get to see in my life. Like, both I get to create, but I also get to see the evidence of, like, everything happening that I want and creating everything. And I just am in this place of like I feel like I'm always in the flow, and this is just even more. It's really, like, amped up, which is fun because it's sort of how it works. You do some things and you're getting in alignment, and you're always, in somewhat alignment, but you're always getting in alignment for what's next. And so just the flow and the openness and how good everything feels, and everything's growing. There's so many changes, and I've just had so many inspirations about, okay, it's time to do this. It's time to do this. It's time to do this over the last couple weeks, that it's just been really fun.
That's awesome. I like how you mentioned the getting into alignment for what's next, because we talk about this all the time, guys, and that's why we can have so many podcast episodes. That's why we can work with people for 5 years, because alignment is not a degree. It's not do it and get it done. It's something you practice all the time, and these levels are constantly expanding. So we're like, okay, we're going to get into alignment with this, and then what's next? And then it's the process getting into alignment with that. Okay, great. What's next? And so that's why, I mean, definitely in our tribe, we are always highlighting the process and enjoying the journey, and being in that place where you're accepting it now and now and now. And because that's what you add up all those moments, and that equals your life. So
Yes.
that's why we're not struggling. We're choosing ease now.
Right. Always. Yeah. Choosing easy, which that's going to tie into our topic today. Yeah. Should we jump in?
All right, so where do you want to start?
We're like,
yeah, let's jump in.
Okay. Let's see. So I want to start by saying that I think you guys know this. Obviously, I hope you've heard it on the podcast come through our voice. Like, I still get so excited when I manifest things and I create things and things open. And
Wait, I gotta share this. So we were talking before, and Cass is like, "Oh, I get so excited about when I want something and I manifest it and blah blah blah." And I'm like, "Cass, do you realize what you just said?" Like, I was giggling inside because I'm like, because that's it. Like, we still get as excited about the most simplest thing of wanting something, defining it, and watching it come to happen. And that is like this joy of every part of our life. Like, that's, anyways,
yes.
Keep going, Cass.
Oh, I love that you have, because we do. I mean, if you knew how many, like, what some people might consider little things that we are like, ooh, and then this happened, and then I got this, and then this showed up, right? And that is what keeps it fun and keeps you in the flow, is still recognizing it and having that excitement and continuing to grow. And it's just so much fun. And so I did this recently with something, and it's fun. And so that's why we're going to have this topic. Do you think I should start with sharing that story, or should we just talk a little bit more?
Yeah, I think that'll set a good foundation.
So as many of you know, I have another podcast in which I currently share my clients' their journeys as well as mine. I'm currently in a space where I'm re-sharing a lot of my favorite manifesting stories and really breaking them down, which is all part of this amazing energy. Like, that was an inspiration that I followed, and that's part of this, even though it's that allowing, it's that not pushing against, sharing those stories is totally, I know, what's putting me even in more alignment now. And so I also share my clients' stories and their journeys, and I love sharing them. I get so excited about when I hear people are like, oh, that story changed me, that, I believed in this. I listened to the stories 3 times before I joined the Enchanted Circle. Because you guys have probably heard it here, and I definitely share on the other podcasts. That is what I wanted. I wanted to talk about law of attraction success stories, and I wanted to talk about using the law of attraction, and I wanted to coach the law of attraction. That's what I get to do every day, or, that's my life.
Yeah.
And so just recently, I love to share the stories. And so there was a miscommunication with one of my clients. She just misunderstood something. And so she didn't show up for her interview. She told me she wasn't going to be there. And then she said, oh, and this would have been a great day, because she listed all these amazing things that are happening in her life. And I was like, oh man, like I'm okay. I trust it. And I really want to interview her. And we're not doing any more official one-on-one interviews for the rest of the year. We're doing some group ones, but we're not doing sort of the individual that plays. And this is somebody whose story I'm also saving for when it's 5 years. And so I'm like, oh man, I want this part of the story. And I was like, and I sent her the link, and like, you can reschedule. And she didn't reschedule for a couple weeks. And I was like, I am letting people come to me. I'm working on even more of that. I feel like I'm pretty good at that. And I'm wanting to take it to more, to where everything is, we talked about ease in the beginning. Everything is easier, which means I just trust it's going to get done. And I've been in a mode of like, what else can I let go of? What else can I allow the universe to take care of? What else can I trust is going to get done? So I didn't follow up, and I didn't follow up, and I didn't follow up. And I was like, nope, this is powerful, and people want to share their stories, and it's awesome. And I got an email from her that she had rescheduled, and it worked out perfectly to do the interview, and it was amazing. And of course, she had had this amazing conversation with someone in her life where she really owned her new story and all the money in her life and all the things. And so it was even more perfect to do it on that day, which I knew it would. And I could have sent, the link, I could have reminded, and I was like, nope, I'm not doing this. And not because it's bad or it makes me feel a certain way, just because I want to trust more, and I want to allow more, and I want to bring in and allow as much ease and flow and trust as I can.
I think that there's a lot of parts there that I almost wanted to stop you, but I wanted to keep you going in the flow. But there's a lot of parts of that, a lot of power to just acknowledging what we want. So the fact that Cassie said, like, I want to trust, I want to grow. So some of the things I'll do in skills camp a lot is just getting them to acknowledge, I want to grow through this opportunity, or I want to respond differently. We don't have to say I'm doing it, or I should do it, or, this is the right way to do it. It's just acknowledging your desire for how you want to feel or how you want to move through it. So that really, really, really opens up the space to Cassie to make the choice, is just acknowledging what she wants in that moment.
So fun.
Yeah.
I want to, or do you want to go on so you don't forget?
Well, I was going to go back to the part where you said, like, the times that you were, when you thought of sending that email or thought of sending the reminder, like there was a choice there every single time. So it's not one choice. It's the awareness of how you kind of like, you want to react, but you're going to choose something different.
Yes. And there's a lot of opportunities for that for me, because this particular client, all my clients, but every time she would share something amazing, I'm like, oh man, I want to make sure we do that interview this year. Like, I want to do that interview this year. And I don't want to wait for 4 months. And just really letting it be okay and trusting, just acknowledging what I want and choosing, I'm going to sit back and I'm going to allow it to happen, no matter how it happens. I didn't really think about that part, but that is a key, right? Is allowing, whether it gets scheduled this month or whether we just catch up on that, in a couple months, and, maybe she's doubled her income again by then, that trusting that it's right and it's powerful and it's being created, co-created for me and with me, and I can let go and allow that to happen.
Yeah. So this is really what we're talking about when we're saying, are you allowing what you want to manifest? So Cass in this situation was making that choice of trusting, which is allowing. So she's allowing by not sending the follow-up email when it's coming from a place of like fear of trying to control this or got to make this happen. She's not letting what she wants happen or manifest. And she's not letting being the person she wants to be, but like leaving the space for that to happen. So she's now choosing. So the path she did take was allowing and trusting every single time, so that then she can co-create with the universe and it can line it up perfectly.
Yes. And I want to say, for those of you who are sort of in the higher level manifesting, that Jenny mentioned fear, and sometimes that's where we kind of step back from it. And in the higher level, it's just like, I want it so bad. It's not even, there's no fear of it not happening because it's going to be okay and it's going to be amazing. It's just more like, I really want this. I want to go get it. Right? And that energy of like, yes, I know I want it and it's going to be awesome, and let me just go get it, sort of because I can. And I'm going to choose not to.
Yeah. So how would one know when it's time to go get it versus it's time to trust and allow it. So see if you can use your exact example. So like, because I can see someone saying, but what if I had the inspiration to email her or send her the scheduling link?
Yeah. And I would say, I don't know how to explain this, but I knew there was no, if that did come up, right? Oh, I'm going to send her. Oh, maybe I should send her the link. Oh, maybe I should remind her. Oh, I should post on this post, right? Just giving examples. I don't know if it was that many times, but there was nothing. I knew it wasn't inspired because it was about trusting.
And they all came from shoulds.
Yeah. So
All
that
those
is
questions.
that is one of the keys I use too for knowing it's inspiration, right? Should I do it now? Should I do it now? Is this a good time? If any of those things, if you're asking, it's not. And which is probably how I knew. And I also want to make the point that I knew from the beginning that like any quote unquote inspiration wasn't inspiration, because it's recognizing, it's getting to that point in your life where you can see and you can recognize this is an opportunity to grow. And
yes. And I just want to highlight this and help clarify. So would you say, Cass, but because you're so clear about who you want to be in this situation, so how you want to interact with your clients, how your business flows, who you're being, you could recognize the opportunity.
yes. And I will say, for clarification purposes, as you were asking that question, it's really, it ties into who I'm scripting being in 5 years. It tunes into that life. There's nothing wrong with following up with a client. There's nothing wrong with being like, hey, right? There's nothing wrong with it. And there is something not in alignment with that person I've been scripting. It doesn't mean it's right or wrong. It just means she is so confident, and I'm pretty confident that things come to me, but I can even see the difference in who I am 5 years from now and how everything comes to me and how I create and how just what happens in my life on a bigger up-level way, in a way. I don't know if I have a better way to say that.
Yeah.
That following up in that way is not her. Did I make any sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I just like that this evolution of being a business owner and a leader and having clients and the confidence that clients come easily and flow to us endlessly expands, right? I remember when I was first getting into having clients, and I had someone reach out and like it's that like frantic,
right?
Like, please work with me feeling, because you're not there yet. And so you want to follow up with, oh, did you check this? Oh, did you think about this? And I remember being like very deliberate about that at the beginning, but the choices I've made to be someone different all throughout the path, like throughout the years, has made it now very easy. Like it's just natural and instinctual. Like I don't have those same inclinations in the same way, but this is the process you grow through. Like when we're talking about this specific case.
And that's so, that's such a good example of this, right? Like, and you learn to let go even more, and you let go even more and let go even more. And just allow it to come versus trying to go get it. And that's a very higher level OA, allowing it to come. So there is, we always start, and a lot of times we want to control the how, but even it can feel inspired and good when we get to a certain level to do certain things, and we could justify them. I can find 100 ways I could have justified doing that and how that is my future self, even though it's not.
Oh man, I'm laughing at this.
And that's just part of the process of learning and growing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's use this example in like a dating scene kind of thing. Like, and that's at the beginning when because I hear this a lot, like, he hasn't texted me back, or when should I text him, or something like that. So when you're starting to meet a guy or a girl, and you have a little bit of conversation, maybe you see them, and then you're kind of sitting by your phone waiting for that text, right? And so that's like when I'm at the beginning of my business and I'm like wanting to call back that, or email my client like a million times. And so did
you get that email? Did you see it? Do you need me to send it again?
Yeah, exactly. And so those are your opportunities, and to see them as an opportunity comes from first clarifying and knowing, like, well, who do I want to be in this dating world? Who do I want to be as a partner? Mm-hmm. And so you get to then make the choice versus not even knowing you have a choice, is just being kind of a victim to, that might not be the right word, but a puppet on the string of just waiting for that response, or this is how I've always done it in the past kind of thing, is like, oh, I know who I want to be. I know where I'm going. I know how I respond in these situations. And even, I want to point out, even if it's not easy at first, you're still growing in every time you are aware of it. Every time you, just like Cass said, want to grow, to be confident, or want to be respected, and so you are not chasing that kind of thing.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And I want to make an important point as we go on and we talk about this topic that you said. Who do I want to be in dating, and who do I want to be in a partnership? And this is a really good, what I think will be a concrete example for our listeners. Who you want to be in a partnership is who you want to be in dating.
Yes.
Those, you want them to be in alignment. Because if you're attracting someone via dating, but you're being someone different in dating than you are in a partnership, right? Because
it's like, okay, we're together now, I can change.
Exactly. And or you're not attracting what you really want. If going back to this call example, if what you want is somebody who pays, like, who is acknowledges you, and who you want to, I don't know, respect you, follow your feelings, like get back to you, whatever, and you're being someone who's willing to wait around and put your life on hold for someone while you're waiting for them to answer, that's saying I want to create a relationship. Or maybe it's not saying it, you're not saying it, but what you have a lot of potential to do is create a relationship where you're putting your life on hold.
Yeah, that will be the essence of the entire relationship, is waiting for that person, or call it codependency, right? Depending on that person for you to live your best life.
Yes. And so if you want to be somebody who still has their life and still does them and gets to do you, that's what you got to do. And you have to trust that the times will line up. It's like, oh, what if I go to yoga and he calls and I miss it? Great. You can call him back when you're done, showered, and ready, or when you have time in the afternoon to do something. And you have to trust that it'll come together if it's right. If it's aligned, it comes together. And if it's not, that it's not. And that's okay.
Yeah. And that's how you
trust you're getting what you want.
Yes. That's how you are going to allow the relationship that you want to manifest, in all those little interactions that you're allowing. So allowing him to respond to your text before you send 10 more is allowing the relationship that you want to manifest. Just like that.
Yes. That's such a good example.
One of the places that happened recently in my life was a few weeks ago. I looked at my schedule and I had like less calls than I normally do. And I like looked at it, and my instant reaction was like panic. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I don't have enough. I'm not working enough. And I'm like, wait a second. I'm like, this is because again, coming back to like knowing what I wanted and how I've created the vision for my life and how it goes, is like, oh, actually I counted all the hours I was working and I'm like, oh, this is actually perfect. This is what I want. And so I had to catch, and I was like, this is how this feels. So when you look at your schedule with this many hours booked, then this is what you want. You want to have a like a positive reaction to this. This is good. And so I was in that moment, like making that choice. I was aware that in the past I would respond in a certain way that was like, work more, make more money. Yes, guys, it's actually been a thing for me too. even though I've been very intentional from the beginning, and it's still a practice to shift out of that belief of like work more, make more money. And even though none of my experience has shown me that, it's still a conscious choice I'm making every time. So like it's coming up like this now. And so to be able to be connected to who I want to be and look at my schedule and say, oh, this is my opportunity to relax into this, to look at this many hours on a week and say, oh, this is what I want. And so it was this huge shift, and it was really about leaving the space and allowing what I really want to manifest, in terms of that's the experience I want with my life and my work and all of it. And so it was that choice.
Yes. Oh, so good. And I want to tie this up with that allowing piece, because it's kind of where we started, and I want to make sure we put like as nice a bow on it as we can. The reason we said, like, are you allowing what you're manifesting in the title, is because you can, especially once you get to a certain level, you can, I mean, it's true on a lot of levels, but you can get what you want without allowing it to happen.
Say more.
Because you expect it to happen. So because you expect it to happen and you're better at manifesting and you're better with LOA, you can, I think, the how is sneakier, and the allowing, like you can get it and you can be, more like, whether it's truly inspired or not, the inspired actions come, the ideas come, because you are in alignment with getting that thing. And so whereas before you might have had all these ideas in your head, and because you weren't in alignment, you might have been going off in a lot of different directions. The better at manifesting you get, almost the more you need to allow, because all of your actions are leading you to what you want. And so it's just what you really want. If it's the ease, if it's the everything comes to me, if it's I work this many hours, if it's I'm in a relationship where it's in perfect flow, me and him, you can get really good at sort of manipulating the system in a way. And you have to consciously stop yourself and allow the allowing, like allow it to happen for you instead of going to get it.
And so tell me if I'm accurate, if I kind of summarize it up like this, because this is how I think of it, is like when we're starting to learn to manifest, we definitely do more work, and it works and it's right. But like the next level of is the better and better you get, the more and more you allow, and the easier and easier life gets, the more and more you trust, and you just get like things come easier. But there's a choice in that transition from doing the manifesting work to make it happen to allowing to make it happen.
Yes.
And there's a choice that you make. It's like, so yes, this could work, this action. So following the inspiration and sending that email or following the inspiration and doing something could work. But what if I trusted? What if I trusted to a new level? What if I allowed to a new level? Then would it still work? And that's kind of this area that Cass and I are hitting on, is this, it's like it's more depth to allowing.
Yes, hugely. And the question that popped up in my mind that maybe our listeners can use is, what if I do nothing? Like asking, like, oh, this is what I want. Okay, what if I do nothing?
Yes.
Right? I just ask for it and do nothing. Yeah.
I can see that's really going to stress some people out.
Right? And so if that stresses you out, it's okay. Just sort of imagine yourself filing that away in the back of your brain for when you've practiced enough and it's time to pull that out. If it's stressful now, it's not the right time for sort of that higher level. And if you feel like I'm nailing this and I want it to get even easier, you can try it out. I want this. And what if I do nothing? And basically, it's a rhetorical question. It's just to remind you to basically sit back and relax.
Yeah, because relaxing is doing something vibrationally.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, you know, what if I do nothing? It would be, and my answer is, it would be awesome if I did nothing and that happened. Yeah. Have a good one.
Go be awesome.
Thank you for joining us on the Manifest It Now show, where you learn how to leverage the law of attraction to manifest your dreams. Now that you're inspired, share the love and review us on iTunes. While you're there, remember to subscribe.